Welcome to the show. You've got a different background today. Where are you at? What's going on?
Hi, my
I know where
friend.
you're at. Tell the people where you're at.
I am in Hilton Head. Came up for a mastermind. Really amazing experience. 4 days retreat. You don't know how it can help your business. It feels obtuse of how you can use it to grow individually or professionally. Like, am I supposed to be invited? Like, where's my access?
Yeah, sure. Would have been great if you did that from day one, but if you didn't, why not start today?
And I think AI is on the tip of everyone's mind for a lot of different reasons, right? One,
to go out and engage, you will get engagement back.
Where you are, who you are, where you want to go. For me, it's like how much money or how much reputation or how much true community connection have I lost by never doing this?
And Jeremy was like, just trust me. Like, I think this will be worth it. It'll pay it for itself.
That's advanced.
I dig that. Yeah.
That's an advanced move. And you know what's performing. So you can look at all the stuff and see which clients have great performing content, which ones don't.
More people, when they think about doing social media, they think more about what I'm about to talk about on the what do I post side. Hey, I'm in this thing. There's a pulse here on this profile. Like, yes, you can check my stories, but there's someone who's showing up day in, day out, week in, week out. So those four things would be
anxiety thinking about this. Where,
oh man, okay.
I got a lot of homework now.
Welcome to My Ghosted Guest, the show where misconnections meet massive comebacks.
We've all been the ghosters. We have been ghosted, and we've seen the ugly side of silence.
This is where we trade the crickets and the Casper moments for the kind of engagement that actually grows your business and makes your followers feel seen.
Why? Because hospitality, heartbreak, and the hilarious in-betweens, they're all here to turn your invisible moments
into incredible transformations you can cash in on.
This is our 7th episode, so buckle up and remember, don't let the engagement be the ghost of your business.
My name's Gabriel Ryan.
I'm Brady Lowe, and welcome to
And this is my ghosted
guest. All right, rock and
your
roll.
Ghosted guest. Welcome to the show. You've got a different background today. Where are you at? What's going on?
My
I know where
friend.
you're at. Tell the people where you're at.
I am in Hilton Head. Came up for a mastermind. Really amazing experience. 4 days retreat. And it's called Baby Bathwater. And it's really it's actually one of the things that brought us together as well. Like, Jeremy was here last year, who's one of our counterparts in crime. And, it's just basically an amazing weekend of a lot of content sessions, a lot of trying to pick the moments, to kind of help you unlock where you are in life and what's next. And, it's just a bunch of amazing and remarkable people gathering in a mastermind setting. So, yeah, Hilton Head.
Yeah. Just real quick, because I've had these conversations with people that I would assume kind of know what a mastermind is, but for someone who doesn't know what a mastermind is, maybe briefly just share what it is, because I know how important masterminds have been in my business. Like you said, it's how we actually ended up getting connected a year ago. It's how I met my now business partner, Jeremy, 5 years ago. And some of the biggest deals I've ever done, in the agency business, all came through the connections and relationships in some of these masterminds. So what is a mastermind in, what role does that play in business?
I would start off with, it's a scary word, because if you don't know what it is, you're like, what is that mastermind? Because it felt something exclusive when I heard about it. And am I supposed to be invited? Where's my access? And, I think some of those things all kind of play into it. And it's kind of it feels like an elite thing, but really it's what's, I would say, it's a gathering of people like-minded that have similar goals, like playing a game of basketball, right? Pickup ball. Everyone knows that if you go to a gym at a certain time, there's going to be people there with the same purpose, right? People go work out every day. When you go to the gym and work out and you hire a trainer, that's a small mastermind. When you go into a group class, and that is a little bit of a mastermind. When you go to a yoga studio and they start to get deeper into your mind and they unlock some tears or some emotions, that's a different style mastermind. And then I think when you're talking about business growth, and mental capacity and unlocks, I think that's a different type of mastermind. So, they all come in different price shapes and sizes. And I think that's kind of like how I kind of didn't really know, because it's a wide range. But I think at the end of the day, it's just a gathering of individuals who have a like purpose and goal.
Yeah, yeah. What was your, just curious, what was your first mastermind
Baby bathwater
experience?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
I went to Cabo a couple of years ago, and
Oh, killer.
yeah,
Okay.
you meet amazing people, and it takes a part of your life to, like, it's just about unlocking where you are, who you are, where you want to go. And I think you have to be brutally honest with what you're doing and how you're doing it, because that's going to allow you to see a path much quicker. It's kind of like trying to cut through the jungle with a butter knife or a machete, and usually the person standing next to you has a machete you just didn't know they had, So I think
Totally.
it opens up the mind to see things and to believe in things that can be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when I look back to our photography business, kind of looking back, I guess I could kind of call them masterminds. We participated in some different, we went to some conferences and trade shows and had kind of a community of other photographers in Southern California who were doing the same kind of thing that we would share ideas with. But really, like, for me, it was 10 years ago, invested in my first kind of like paid mastermind. Actually, the agency that I was helping build at the time, there was me, our CEO and president, and the three of us. And our CEO is also Jeremy, different Jeremy than I'm currently partnered with, but I like working with Jeremy's. And he was like, hey, we should invest in this mastermind. And it was like $25K. And literally, like, all you got, I think it was 3 meetups throughout the year. And you still had to pay your way to like get there and your own hotel and all that. So you paid $25K, you got 3 meetups with this guy, Todd Brown, who is like an OG in the direct response marketing space, especially for financial and the space that we paid in. And I remember Brian was like, there's no way we're paying 25 grand for 3 meetings. And then we're going to have to like expend all of this. Like, you fly to Hilton Head or travel out to Hilton Head and you're putting yourself up and entertaining all that. And Jeremy was like, just trust me. Like, I think this will be worth it. It'll pay it for itself. And literally we go to that first event. This happened to be in Orlando. We pulled a $30,000 project out of that first deal, and then literally made actually millions of dollars from the relationships that were birthed from that first meetup in Todd's mastermind. So I've been a believer ever since.
Yeah, I think they're extremely powerful, especially when you're growing your mindset and a business, and you want to be around people that you just want to get you want the sauce to reduce to the most powerful tonic that you can use to rub on the skin to make to make the pain go away.
And they're fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun. You get to write it off. You get to go to a cool spot like Hilton Head or wherever.
Yeah. And the reason I like this one, it's like a no pitch zone. So you're not really like pitching. It's a lot of learning about other people. And, it takes your mind and kind of ease of like, I'm not trying to like sell you into something, but there was a thing that kept happening while I was here, because there's a lot of conversation right now about AI. And I think AI is on the tip of everyone's mind for a lot of different reasons, right? One, that there's an end coming. There's fear of how we can't control it. People losing jobs to it. What else was stuff that I was hearing this weekend? Like, that you don't know how it can help your business. It feels, obtuse of how you can use it to grow individually or professionally. But I think where we started looking and what we started seeing is that like everybody's also talking about connection, right? I think there's this dynamic or a dyadic, duo here, like where you go to AI, you lose personal human nature and connection. You want to go to technology, you're going to need to have some genuine authenticity. You're going to go to tech, you're going to want some human touch, right? You're always going to have this new and old, like, dual nature that's always in a little bit of tension. And everybody was still talking about connection and how important it's going to be and what it means to like have a connection with your audience, right? I mean, I wish we all didn't have to have an audience or create trust to create money, but that's the way it works. Like, you don't give someone money without trust. And so the question came up, and you're trying to help people versus sell people, so every conversation is like, in a good mastermind, is how can I help you versus try to sell you something. And it's like, there's a ton of gifts. Like, people are just giving like tons of nuggets that are just like, holy shit, this is awesome, So that's how you know it's a good mastermind, is when you walk away, not only with new relationships, but with like tons of like new things that you can apply to your business that don't cost you. Like, you're not getting sold from stage all day long. Like, that's not a good mastermind. Like, for me anyways, It's not my style. So the thing that I kind of kept getting echoed in the room with is, how does connection work in social media? And if I were to start tomorrow with an Instagram account, how would I do it to grow my business? And I basically gave everyone the love, and basically like I kind of broke it down. So that's what I kind of want to share with you and get your feedback, what you think. But essentially, if tomorrow I was about to like just start over, open a new Instagram account, what would I do? And I would go in, number one, I would get what I call a RIA, which is a revenue-based executive assistant with one focused task, and that is to do engagement. And what engagement means to me is personally connecting with individuals. And how I do that is basically I start off with a spreadsheet. I put my login profile for the name of my Instagram account with the password that I want. Then I would build out my profile, what this account is about. And then I would give her 6 photos and captions. Now that's the starting kit for a profile, right? And of course you can do like, who am I? What do I do? Like, kind of the pillars of your business or where you're going from a personal or a professional brand. So when someone goes to your page, they know who you are, or where you're trying to take them and help them or problem you solve. Now, once that is done, then you give 100 top, or what you call your top or dream 100 clients, which your avatars, right? So this is totally advanced. This is a combination of all the masterminds I've been in, from, social media to elite to all these groups. And so basically you start with your dream 100, you put that as your first 100 follows. And the only reason I'd have 101 is because I have my wife, right? So maybe I have 101 people that I'm following. It's strict. Then my executive assistant would go in every day and basically like, comment, and basically post in those dream clients. So those dream clients know that I'm active and I want to hang out with them. And I would get in there too. But like, on one side, my feed is 100 dream 100. All I'm looking at, I'm not looking at cats and cooking and stuff like that. I'm just looking at my dream 100 clients and learning about them. So when I'm on that feed, it is 100% my opportunities. And you know what happens? What you look at, you feast on, right? So if you look at something or manifest it every day, the chances of you having access or an opportunity with them is a much higher rate.
Your feed is what you feast on.
Yes,
you feed on the feast. You feast on the feed.
So then I basically go back
Love
to
it.
that.
So you put together a new profile.
Yep, profile.
You give it kind of like the starter kit. Okay, so 6 photos, starter kit. This is what it's about. So like, just a little blurb on that, and then you'd be the one to go and find like, okay, who's my dream 100 or my 101. You would literally follow.
Yeah, so you have to. That's going to be your 600 minutes of hard work, right? If you have 100 people and you have 6 minutes per to do that, it's a couple days, 3 days of hard work to get that dream 100 together. But that
you really have to figure out like, who is in that list, because that's not just a like, oh, I'm going to throw this into ChatGPT and it's going to spit something out. That's like, you've got to spend the time.
You can get a little
energy in.
You can get a little help from there. Like, ChatGPT can get you a starting list, but it's going to go big. Those are like dreams, like Taylor Swift. Like, okay, like, have Taylor Swift in there if you want. So, all right, so now you got your dream 100, and I missed one point. When you put them in, you're going 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. So you're rating how important they are to your dream client. Taylor Swift would be a 4 star. 1 star might be like a buddy or someone that
And
you
4
know.
stars the top, then I assume.
Yeah.
4 stars the best. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So now we have kind of a grading system. Now my EA gets in there, my RIA goes in, and she's like, all right, this is awesome. We have this going, right? And she goes in and she says, all right, goes to the first person every day, second person, third person, and just likes, comments, engages, and basically just shows. Just like every day I see like, Gabe. And they're like, man, this Gabe guy, he's all over it. Very like, and then eventually, as you post comments and you get into the feeds of those conversations and those threads, once they respond back to you, then you hit them with a compliment ladder. Now, the compliment ladder is based on your 4-star system. First compliment is like, hey, bro, love what you're doing. You guys are always killing it. Have a good one. Thanks again, for the note, because they responded to one of your comments, right? The double compliment is a 2-star. This one takes a little bit more. It's about 10 to 15 seconds. The first one's like a 5 to 8 second. Then you've got the 10 to 15, which is your double compliment. Then you have your all-in compliment, which is about 15 to 30 seconds of time energy. So double compliment is you look at their profile. Oh my gosh, you're a father. You're a leadership coach. Amazing. And then you look at the first 6 photos. And you went to Boca?
Yep.
Like, dude, that trip looked amazing. You guys always do the greatest thing. Keep rocking. Thanks again. You're the best. Shine on. Now, if they're a 3-star, then they get what I call the all-in, where you actually go in a little bit deeper with a little extra time, and you find something that's relatable to you, your business, and your growth, and your clients. Now, the last one, which is a 4-star, is the transformational compliment. This is when you're like, hey, like truly that podcast that you put out last week, like I use it with my clients. It was so well done. I just want to say thank you for putting amazing content in the world. I love what you're doing. You're helping me grow my business, dude. Just thank you. And all my clients love you too.
Yep.
Right? So they're like, Gabe, thanks, man. Like that's the greatest compliment I got today. You're like, yeah, no problem. Like really just love what you're doing. I'm just glad you're in the universe. And you build a state of complimenting your dream avatars. And I think I get so much crap in DMs that I just want to like, if I could put a team together that just all they do is just compliment people all day long, I know I'm putting good vibes out there, right? Like start with something that makes people feel good. And so that in essence is what this, if I were to start over tomorrow with a new Instagram account, what I would do, or for any clients is I would set this up. Now, here's the trick of this thing is that if you look at the folks out there who have 60,000, 40,000, 9,000 followers, or even 1,800 followers, and they've had an account for 6 months or even 6 years. If you started this from day one, do you think you would have a different audience and a different level of engagement with everybody that's ever followed you for the first day? And
1,000%.
Yeah. So for me, it's like how much money or how much reputation or how much true community connection have I lost by never doing this? So I think it's just such a big gap that almost if I had 50,000 followers, I'd freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so much ground I need to catch up on, so.
Yeah. It's like the classic Japanese proverb. It says, when's the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. When's the next best time today? So if you're not starting over, yeah, sure. Would have been great if you did that from day one, but if you didn't, why not start today? What about this part? Because I think what you hit on with the revenue engagement assistant, essentially the revenue generating EA, and this kind of role and the work that you need to do to get it set up. Because obviously it's not just, hey, we give this playbook to someone else. There is some heavy lifting, like you said, those 600 hours or whatever, 60 hours or whatever up front.
600 minutes.
600 minutes, sorry, 600 minutes, 10 hours. There we go. I was like, wait a second. This will not take you years. This should take you like a week. So I think what we see, the whole reason why putting together this show is that people want engagement on social media, but they don't engage. And it's like, well, okay, duh. Like the obvious answer is to go out and engage. You will get engagement back. But what they focus on primarily is like, what do I need to post? What do I need to publish? So I think that part is still important. So as part of like kind of your playbook, where does that fit in, and what would be the activity on what you're publishing? So I've got my Dream 100. I'm engaging. I'm following. I'm liking. I'm creating genuine connection. But are you doing that to a blank profile that's not publishing content, or like what are you posting? And are you doing this from your business or from yourself as your personal brand? Like what are you publishing while you're doing that?
It's a
What's
very
the 80/20?
advanced conversation. Like this is getting advanced, right? And I love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're making me think, and I didn't think this part. There's another part that I was thinking, but all right, remember that at this point, you've got what we call that revenue executive assistant or revenue engagement assistant, right? Like attach revenue to this executive assistant's role, right? There has to be a goal at the end. But while they're doing this all day long, throwing out compliments, making people smile, making their day, and making you look like you are all over the place. That's all you do all day long is just social media. You're the magic, the magic guy. You have the time to go through the feed, and you're just looking at what all of these dream clients are doing. What kind of problems are they talking about? What kind of things can you solve for them? And you're creating content based on what they're doing. So when they come to you, you're only talking directly to them through your content. Now, that's advanced.
I dig that. Yeah.
That's an advanced move, and you know what's performing. So you can look at all the stuff and see which clients have great performing content, which ones don't. You can also follow like people that they're following and create content that they're excited about, right? So there's a lot of different ways to really dig into that. But the other one that was kind of like a sub-level advanced move for this was once you have me going out, let's say on the RIA, I'm going out and I'm like talking to like all these people in my Dream 100. I'm in a thread, and the thread starts getting like, I made a great comment about this podcast the other day. The thread started going on, and then somebody else popped in next to me. Then I commented on his thing, and his thing, then the same thread. I looked at his profile. That guy, I want to work with. I could really help him in his business. So I sent him a compliment message, and he DM'd me back, and now we're talking about a deal. So you're meeting people in the thread. So like while you're in the Dream 100, now you're connecting with people who are following the same people that you're following and connecting with people. They're like, how'd you find me again? I was like, dude, you commented on a post about a podcast that I commented on with Russell Brunson. And he's like, oh man, I love that guy. We've been following each other. So now we're talking about that. And then
you got that share later, that common thread. And just knowing, that's classic, because that's knowing where your ideal client, like where they already hang out. Because there's this fallacy that we have to generate attention or generate leads or generate opportunity. I've always believed the opportunity, the leads, the relationships, the connections, they're already there. They're flowing like a river. You just got to know where like the fish are that you want to connect with, and like just go place yourself there. So if they're following Russell Brunson, you should follow Russell Brunson. Should be in your Dream 100. You're commenting on that. They're going to be there. So like knowing where they hang out, I think is key. Can I share where like what I think what I would do if I were to take your RIA playbook?
Well, that's the best part about this. It's
because
like, it's a flow, right? It's a take on riff on it,
Again, I want to be very careful, because I think more people, when they think about doing social media, they think more about what I'm about to talk about on the what do I post side, and less about the engagement. And I think the engagement's more important. So I would spend 80% of my time and energy on the engagement part. But I still do think we have to publish, and I have this mantra, this belief of like, hey, publish to serve. To your point, like, is this going to be valuable in some way, shape, or form? And I would give myself just some simple non-negotiables on a weekly basis. And if we're talking just Instagram, I would break it into two parts. You have what you're posting to your feed, and you have what you're posting to your stories. If I could just post 3 times a day in my stories, and that's just like me whipping out my phone, showing behind the scenes. Hey, I'm at Hilton Head. Hey, I just finished recording this podcast with Brady. We were talking about engagement. It's really interesting. Or, hey, I'm about to go pick up my kids from school. I used to not be able to do this because I was a slave to my business, but now I'm not. And, Hope the same for you. You're just showing behind the scenes. So 3 times a day, I'm like, all right, if I post my stories 3 times a day, because I think the stories is where you can then, as people start to see your comments and start lurking, that's where they're going to start to feel like they know you a little bit more in the stories. So we want to open ourselves up and show behind the scenes. So 3 times a day to stories.
So
I could do that, especially if I have an EA that's doing engagement. Yep. Yep. Yep.
it's there's no other level of connection like that, right? I mean, do I think they're going to come back and look at my grid and my page? No, but I think stories behind the scenes is the best way to go. I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So I'd start there. I'd be like, if I did nothing else on posting, I would do that. And then the second piece would be posting to the feed. And that's where you just have to be real about like where you're at and what you can commit to. It's just kind of like, go into the gym. If you haven't worked out in years, I'd rather see you go to the gym once a week and hop on the stair climber for 60 minutes than say like, hey, I'm going to go 7 days a week and I'm going to do CrossFit 7 days a week because I know that's yeah, of course that's going to get you in shape the fastest. But like, what's going to be your level? Anywhere from 1 to 2 posts a week up to 2 posts a day. So you kind of got to regulate and figure out like where you're at. But that's where I would really look at a couple different things. If I were to bucket into like 4 kinds of content that I would create to post to my feed, because you do want to show that like, hey, I'm in this thing. There's a pulse here on this profile. Like, yes, you can check my stories, but there's someone who's showing up day in, day out, week in, week out. So those 4 things would be something to generate some kind of connection. So that would still be like the personal piece, showing you behind the scenes, doing what you do, the work that you do, that content that is really all about connection. So like a couple of weeks ago, I went to an event. You're at an event right now. You might record a reel like, hey, I'm at this mastermind. This is why masterminds are cool. This is the role masterminds have played in my life. That's a piece of connection content that you could post to the feed as a reel. The second would be value. That's where we're doing maybe some teaching, and I think this is where a lot of folks get it wrong, where they try to teach and put too much into their content, where there is a time and place where we can share ideas and I can share the strategy and the how-to. But if you got 60, 90 seconds in a reel, in a short, in a carousel post, you can still bring value. You just have to realize the channel that you're delivering the value through, and you have to kind of like, I hate the word dumb it down. Like, I wouldn't dumb it down, but I would make it fit for the channel. So I go, okay, well, I maybe can't explain this whole strategy of engagement and RIA, but I can talk very specifically about the problem we're solving and why it matters. And that in and of itself might be some value. Or I might be able to give one tip from, hey, if you just did this one thing every day and you just went out and gave, 5 double compliments a day, here's what a double compliment is. That's something I can package into a post that can be delivered kind of single serving size in a reel.
Well,
so you've got connection, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I love this. This feels to me like I'm getting.
Oh man, okay. Yeah.
And I get it because I'm like here and I want to post, but I'm busy. You know what I mean? Like we all live busy lives.
Yeah.
I think this is a great thing if you really want people to like dive into your business, right? But
yeah.
I also think like people like Dan Martelli is like just talk to the camera, just post on stories. It's like who you are, what you're doing, what you believe in. Like I miss my family. I'm in a place today. I really miss my kids. I hope they're doing well. There was this day she did this. It was crazy. Or, I really helped these guys this weekend doing something really cool. And I just wanted to share, it was nice that they said thank you. And I really appreciate my comment. I think
Yeah.
it's like, what can you tell someone in an elevator who are your Dream 100 clients that doesn't make you feel like a because if I got you in an elevator and you're like, I'm going to give you a single third portion of one of my last lessons, and it's, I don't know. So maybe there's like you pick your
Yeah, and
personality.
I think in social we got to think more like fortune cookies, I guess. Right. So your stories you're showing behind the scenes, and then your content on your feed. Just like, is there something you could share that's like fortune cookie size?
Yeah.
It's actually, it's not just, that has some teeth to it, and actually has some truth and value, and it's not just something you pull off of Pinterest that you're re-quoting or rehashing. Like, don't take someone else's quote and just like throw it up there and put it to some music. We want to see you, like we want to connect with you on your profile, on your feed. So it's still, make it yours.
Well,
But if I were starting over, I would do that. I would post 3 times a day as to stories, and then I would figure out a cadence that I feel comfortable with posting to my feed. At minimum, maybe twice a week. At most, twice a day. And somewhere in there, I go, okay, I'm committed to sharing some fortune cookie size piece of content, and then I'll get better at that and doing reps over time. But spend 80% of my time on the engagement piece of going out, actually being interested in people, trying not so hard to be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think what I heard this weekend is 90% of 90% of what you do as a job or as creating value to attract new clients, 90% has to be free. Just give it away. They're going to
1,000%. Yeah. That's how we got that first deal from that mastermind, by the way. Like that mastermind and every good mastermind I've been also has been a no pitch zone. I've never gone to a mastermind and pitched. I've shared everything for free. And then after that mastermind, Caleb, who's an OG in the space, hit us up and is like, hey, I don't want to have to like do what you like. The playbook you shared makes total sense. I don't want to have to do it. I want to give it to my team. They're working on other stuff. Can you just do that for me? It's like, yeah, absolutely. And we got that deal. It's the same thing. I 100% agree. We know this, right? Your marketing should serve more people than your product ever will. Your product or your service. And it is easier than ever for people to go to YouTube, to go to ChatGPT, to get the strategy. But like applying it specifically to their business, in their lives, to get maybe a custom experience, to get the implementation, they'll always pay for that. So you don't need to be so close-fisted with your stuff.
Yeah, and I think you were talking about strategy, and I think this would be a great way to like set up for the next session, our next episode is like, let's get into like strategy of this, and really because my strategy right now is I gotta get on the water and go fishing for some redfish, or I ain't gonna eat no dinner. So I gotta go strategize with the fishermen. But we got a charter going in just a couple minutes. But man, I think you're hitting the right note. Like strategy is key, right? And to find strategy to work, I think it needs to be sustainable. And what I mean by sustainable is it's got to work for you and your lifestyle. And that is not an easy lift, right? 600 minutes, which you said perfectly could take you a week to do it really well for Dream 100. And then I would say 600 minutes to really figure out your strategy. What is you? What does it feel like?
Yeah.
But I think that strategy thing was a whole episode on itself.
Yeah, 1,000%. Because I think even doing the right thing in the wrong order is actually the wrong thing. So got some stuff to share on that, and it specifically has to do with sequence, because the strategy is important, but making sure we get the sequence right, doing it in the right order. I've seen a lot of businesses with a great strategy try to tackle things in the wrong order and it blows up in their face. And I've got a lot to talk about on that, and maybe that's what we dive into on the next one.
That's what we're diving into on the next one. And I'll show you some pictures of the fish tonight we catch.
Heck yes. Well, I think that's the pod. Go catch some fish.
All right, bro. Good talk. Well, until
Likewise.
we talk next time, bye-bye, my ghosted guy.
Adios.